All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going on a journey through our own minds. And our guide, it's a map that's over 1,000 years old.
No, seriously, just stop and think about that for a second. What if you had an actual map to your own mind? One that could show you exactly where you are right now, where you've been, and all the different roads you could take. A complete GPS for your inner world.
And this isn't some new age self-help book you'd find at the airport. We're talking about profound, ancient wisdom drafted 1,200 years ago by, well, a flat-out genius. So let's meet the guy who drew the map of human consciousness.
Okay, so the man's name was Kukai, and his masterpiece is called the Jujushinron. Get ready because this guy was a legend.
I mean, calling Kukai just a monk is like calling a smartphone just a phone. It's a massive understatement. This guy was a total polymath. He was a top-tier civil engineer running huge public works projects. He was a master calligrapher, a famous poet, an educator who started the first ever school for common folks in Japan. I mean, the list just keeps going.
Honestly, the best way to wrap your head around him is to think of him as the Leonardo da Vinci of Japan. He was a Superman of his era, for real. And this map of the mind, it was his ultimate creation.
So what is this book, the Jujushinron? Well, you can think of it as a theory of evolution of the mind. It literally lays out in 10 clear stages how our consciousness grows. It starts with our most basic, animal instincts, and takes us all the way to a state of, well, profound enlightenment. It's basically the grand guidebook to the human spirit.
Okay, so to really get this map, you gotta understand the world it came from. Let's think of it like a video game, right? Kukai had his starting zone, and he set off on a seriously high-level quest for knowledge.
So, Kukai's story begins in Heian, Japan. It's a brand new, energetic capital, but it's also a place filled with fear and superstition. Now, the high-level zone, the place with all the best gear and knowledge, was Tang Dynasty China. It was the undisputed superpower of the day. So Kukai risks his life on this crazy, dangerous sea voyage to get there. And then, get this, he masters knowledge that was supposed to take 20 years to learn, in just 2. He came back to Japan with wisdom that must have seemed like it was from hundreds of years in the future.
All right, before we dive into the 10 levels on the map, we need to get the rules of the game. There are 3 core principles that everything else is built on. First up, radical tolerance. This is huge. Kukai didn't go around saying other philosophies or religions were wrong. Nope, he saw them all as necessary steps on the same journey, just different rungs on the same ladder. Second, deep psychology. This isn't just faith, it's like a scientific anatomy chart of the mind. It really digs into why we desire things, why we act the way we do. And third, ultimate affirmation. The whole point isn't to wait for some reward in the afterlife. The goal is to become enlightened right here, right now, in this very body. Just being alive, that's the miracle.
Okay, you got the rules? Good. Now for the map itself. Let's do a walkthrough of the 10 levels of the mind.
And just remember, in this RPG, the hero who's leveling up, it isn't some character on a screen. The protagonist here is you. It's the human mind itself. So here it is, the entire journey laid out. As you can see, it all starts with the pure animal instinct of the ram. Then it moves up through learning basic morality, into some core Buddhist ideas, and then it just keeps climbing. We get to these really profound concepts like compassion, emptiness, and finally, cosmic unity. You could think of this as your cheat sheet for the whole quest. Let's zoom in on a few key checkpoints. Okay, so everyone starts here. Level 1, the mind of the ram. This is life at its most basic, driven by pure instinct. You know, hunger, lust, all those raw desires. And Kukai is super clear about this. This isn't evil. It's not good or bad. It's just the neutral, animalistic starting line we all share. All right, let's jump way ahead to stage 6, because this is where things get really interesting. This is a massive leap in consciousness, a huge turning point. Your whole perspective flips from a selfish, how do I save myself, to a compassionate, how can I help save everyone? This awakening of empathy, that's what really levels up the mind.
And then you have the final boss, stage 10, the mind of secret adornment. At this level, you're no longer just an observer looking at the universe from the outside. You merge with it. You become the universe itself. It's a state of complete unity, of infinite energy. This is the ultimate prize at the end of the quest.
So, you might be thinking, this is all fascinating, but why should I care about a 1,200-year-old map today? Well, the answer is, it might just be the most relevant tool we have for navigating our crazy modern world. Just look at the struggles we face today, right? That feeling of emptiness in our hearts, a loss of identity, constantly comparing ourselves to others on social media. Kukai's map speaks directly to all of this. It gives you a way to find your current location, to see where you are. It shows you a clear path to a higher perspective. And maybe most importantly, it reminds you that you're not just some isolated person floating in space. You're part of a vast, interconnected cosmic network.
You know, Kukai's diagnosis for why we suffer it's just brilliant. He says it's not because people are bad or evil. The real root of our suffering is simply ignorance. And by that, he means we're lost because we don't have a map. We literally don't know where we are on our own journey.
And this quote from him just says it all perfectly. When the mind is dark, everything one encounters is a misfortune. When the eye is clear, everything one touches is a treasure. The world itself doesn't have to change. When your mind changes, your whole reality transforms. The journey isn't about going somewhere else. It's about seeing where you are with new eyes.
So it all comes back to you. We've just unrolled this ancient, incredibly powerful map of the human mind. The only question left is, where are you on the journey?